Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel with a great topic and a great guest here, Eugenia Jordan, the Chief Marketing Officer of the Telecom Infrastructure Project, an organization I've been excited about for many years. How are you, Eugenia?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Happy New Year. Great to have you here. Um, we're going to talk all things telecom for you telecom geeks out there like us. I've been in the industry for 30 plus years. I won't ask how many years you've been in the
That's
industry.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I can say 20, 21, 22. So, but
Right.
obviously I started in the kindergarten.
Okay, not a problem. Before we drive into TIP or the Telecom Infrastructure Projects, maybe introduce yourself. We're both in the Massachusetts area and both have worked in the same circles for many years. I enjoy following you at Eugenia Jordan on Twitter and LinkedIn and, of course, the TIP project. But yeah, share something a bit about your background.
Oh, absolutely. So I am a female executive, but I'm also an immigrant. I was born in Russia. I moved to Canada in 1995 because I wanted to build a better life for myself. And then in 2000, I moved here and I sort of fell into telecom. It was right after 9/11, and with two
Mm.
degrees, there was no jobs, none. Remember those times? None.
Yeah,
Dot com boom.
we've seen some tough times. This latest recession is yeah, just a walk in the park compared to some of the ones we've had in the past.
I I know, like 2001, 2007. I was working at a startup that just went public in 2007, and our stock tanked so bad, and it was very, very difficult times. But the industry survived. You and I survived. So many companies survived. Telecom is a really resilient industry. You and I will know it.
Yeah, resilience is the name of the game in telecom for sure. So, tell us a little bit about the Telecom Infrastructure Project. It's a really fascinating organization. It's a little bit, well known in the industry, maybe outside the industry, not so much. So, set the scene for us. What is TIP?
Oh, absolutely. So, Telecom Infra Project, or TIP, is the best kept secret in telecom.
Well, not anymore because we're going to get 2 or 3 million impressions out of this, but I
Okay.
understand.
So, the organization was created in 2016 because there was a need to change the industry. Unfortunately, the industry consolidated. There was not a lot of choice, not a lot of innovation happening, and the cost to deploy the networks were rising. So our founding members, they came together, it's mobile operators and organizations, they came together and they started TIP with one mission. And remember, it was 2016, right? So when 2023, 7 years ago, with one mission: to innovate in telecom, to open the architectures, disaggregate the components. Fast forward to 2023, 7 years later, we have OpenRAN that opens and disaggregates RAN sites. We have open transport. We have open core. And we have so many deployments to show. There's so many maps. Our community is developing together, testing and validating together. Oh, yes. Thank you for sharing the website.
It's magical,
And
this technology. Yes.
you are magical. You need to teach me how to do it. Yes. So exactly, it's the new way to build telecom networks across access, transport, core, and deploy those technologies so the networks can be brought all over the world, and people like you and I, or our listeners, viewers, they can have access.
And the digital divide is often talked about, but we're still in this year, in this decade, in a world where half the population is not connected to the internet. And for those who are, it's often insufficient for real connectivity purposes, trade and commerce and learning. So talk about that challenge because we kind of here in our nice New England suburbs consider, we have gigabit and we're very happily connected, and on our devices we have 5G. But this is a global organization, a global effort, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me tell you a story. Um, I love Chipotle. So and and we have Chipotle here, and I was trying to place an online order because our Chipotle went digital, sitting next to the restaurant, and there was no coverage. So I had to drive a couple of miles down, find a signal on my phone, and place my order. So the challenge of coverage, it's not just
Mm,
developing markets, emerging markets, it's everywhere. In New York City, if the cells are
mm,
overloaded,
mm.
you're not going to get a signal. At a stadium, if everyone is getting excited about the football game or other sporting events, the cells get overloaded. People cannot tweet or cannot Facebook Live or do other engagements on social media. So, and the challenge is it's the cost of the equipment that goes into actually two challenges. The one is to build the network, but the second one is how to optimize the network. And what open and disaggregated, what TIP is driving, it's not just bringing components from different vendors, but also bringing new approach to how telecoms build. And this is where artificial intelligence and machine learning comes in. For example, machine learning will know and AI will know and will train the algorithms when there are games happening and there's a lot of people want to Facebook, LinkedIn Live, or do whatever to give more resources, optimize resources, so the end user experience will be optimal. So their project, oh, you wanted to mention something. I can go on and on. You
Oh
just
no,
stop.
I could too. No, that's fascinating. I love the open approach to tip. I mean, we know of open source when it comes to software, which has really revolutionized the world of cloud data center with Linux and other things. So, are you taking an open approach to design, development, and even hardware?
100% open
Mm,
across the board. So you're
wow.
absolutely right. Um, IT inspired this open and disaggregated movement in telecom. So because in IT data center, it's components from different vendors you can mix and match using open interfaces and interchangeable software. So the way, for example, OpenRAN group works is you take hardware from one vendor, radio hardware on top of your tower, then you take a server from any commercial of the shelf server or coax, and then you can put any type of software to manage your radio. Same with transport. There is so many different products that TIP community developed for transport as well, and obviously in the data center and the core. So what's unique about TIP as an organization is we address exact needs from mobile operators.
Mm,
So I can describe briefly. Actually, I have a tip talk that I recorded. So it's going to be very quick how I'm going to explain it.
sure.
So there are four steps how tip works. We get the requirements from mobile operators. Those requirements are brought to the tip project group, OpenRAN or Open Optical, Open
Mhm.
Wi-Fi. The community works on developing the roadmap. Then components get tested and validated. Then they get deployed or they go in the marketplace. Boom, done, simple.
I love that. And you mentioned the community. Talk a little bit about the community, the participants, the members, even the board that you have. It really is a who's who of the industry, and not just operators, but the whole ecosystem. That's quite a list of logos you have here on the Telecom Infra Project website. Tell us how that works as a organization.
Absolutely. When a company decides to become a TIP member, they have an opportunity to become a part of a project group that is relevant to them. We have founding members, and we also have board members. So project group, it's where all the TIP magic happens. This is where telecom solutions are being brainstormed, roadmaps being developed, and then they go test and validated. So, and the reason you see everyone here on in our member participant roster, because vendors cannot develop solutions without mobile operator requirements. So it's always a community. And because we're neutral organization, there's no fighting. There's it's all a community. We're benefiting the community, and that's why in normal world you would not see mobile operators that we have on the board sharing stage at our events or going on webinars, or you wouldn't see the same companies here that produce COT servers. But with TIP, it's different because communities build blueprints. And blueprints, the best innovation happens when all the components come from different vendors. And vendors, mobile operators, they are not thinking about what's best for them, but what's best for the use case that the solution is addressing.
Wow, what a wonderful approach. Now, there are many organizations in communications and networking, but you really stand out as making real progress. But how are you different from or similar to like a 3GPP that defines the standards and the software and features of like 4G, 5G, et cetera? Are you sort of complementing them?
Really good question. And you used a very key word to show our differentiation. We do not write standards.
Aha.
Our mission is to deploy open and disaggregated, help companies drive the innovation, get integrated, get tested and validated. So we obviously test and validate 3GPP compliant products or an alliance compliant products. But sometimes the products might be 3GPP compliant, but they might not be open. So if they're not open, they cannot go into the TIP blueprint.
Oh, I love it. It's a fascinating approach. Now, do you get together in person as well as virtually as a community, and how does that work? Obviously, we have the big Mobile World Congress coming up just around the corner in Barcelona. Where else do you kind of get the community together in person?
So we have project groups. So when a company or a vendor or a mobile operator or system integrator, they become a TIP member, they become a member of a particular project group. And there are different tools where they can look at the requirements, engage with each other, message boards and so on. But there are also project groups meetings, and they're lovely. Because the industry is so small. You know it. You've been in the industry for so long. And I was on a OpenRAN project group in December, and it's lovely. It's wonderful. You see names, you see people that you know and that you love, and you worked with them for a very, very long time. And this is how the best collaboration happens. And that's why TIP is so successful, because it's all built on trust that's been built throughout the years. So that's about project groups. There is online version, there's project groups, meetings, And we also see each other as a community at different events. So is it okay if I gave a little plug for
Please
MWC?
plug away. I am a plug master here, so I love marketing. So that's all good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to have our first since 2019. So first MWC Pavilion in 4 years.
Wow. It's been a long pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, since the pandemic. It's so we're so excited. We are in Hall 5. It's a really nice, prominent location. And I want to
Mm.
say big thank you to GSMA because they've been a pleasure to deal with. So we're going to bring an ecosystem. We're going to have pods demonstrating OpenRAN, Open Optical, Open Wi-Fi innovation. So we have a few sponsorship left. People can reach out to me and I'll direct them to our sales team. But what we will also have, we will have an amazing agenda, speaking agenda. And I don't want to steal the thunder from my head of content, but we might have speaking sessions, speaking tracks for OpenRAN and Telco Cloud and Open Optical and a few more.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, I will be in Barcelona in person for MWC after a long hiatus myself. So I'm interested really in covering the event and in live streaming and live blogging, live tweeting, what you have going on. Well, so exciting. Tell us a little bit about more about OpenRAN because there's been a lot of energy and excitement and push to open up the radio access network. And you know, in telecom things move slowly. We're used to that. But how are things moving along with OpenRAN?
So you're absolutely right. Telecom moves at a pace of a snail, but once the snail starts moving, it starts moving really fast. It goes on
I like to think of
steroids.
it as the tortoise versus the hare. We're sort of the tortoise of the tech industry,
Okay,
but we get there in the end. Yeah.
we will.
Snail's a little gross.
Yeah, I know, but it's also could be like a flywheel. When you
Okay.
start pushing the flywheel, it's so hard, right? And then once it starts flying, boom, nothing can stop. So there is a post that I'm going to repost from John Baker of Mavenir. He actually highlighted some of the accomplishments of OpenRAN and some of the remaining challenges. And TIP published a map for Fuse. It's our flagship event. So there is over 60 trials and deployments as of 2021. There is brownfield and greenfield deployments.
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah.
It's crazy. So if you go to, you have the magic. So if you go to TIP website and then blog, and then there was one titled OpenRAN commercialization in October. You will be able to pull that map up and show it.
Yeah, so I'll do that, and I'll add it to the posts here so people can kind of join in and sign up for notifications and alerts. Um, so we'll see you there. Tell us what else you're excited about this year. Just on a personal note, I know you're very active in the woman in tech community. As many people know, telecom has been, gosh, such a male-dominated world for decades. Probably 95% of the executives that I've met in the past have been men over the years, which is very sad indeed. So tell us about Chief Boston, where you're a founding member, and other initiatives to get more women into this industry.
It's a great topic. TIP and my boss, Christian Tovio, he's our executive director, and the whole TIP team and the board, we're very passionate about diversity.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually rejuvenating TIP Diversity Committee. So if any of your listeners that are TIP members would like to participate, they can just DM me or email me. We already have Dell, Jillian Kaplan, is absolutely, you know her, she's absolutely
Oh yeah,
amazing and
absolutely. Hey, Jillian, if you're
passionate.
watching.
Hi, Jillian. She actually taught me how to do tip talk. So God
Okay.
bless her. So Tip Diversity Committee, Dell, Intel, Mavenir, Capgemini, and now we're gonna have, I believe, NTT Data as well, and Rakuten Symphony. Rakuten Symphony,
Of course. Yeah.
Tarek and Jeff, they're very committed to bringing diverse voices. So the committee is gonna have actionable metrics, because talking is great, but talking is not going to bring more diverse voices in the industry. We need to show diverse voices. So at our flagship Fuse event in October, we have a target of 30% of all our speakers to be female. So we're going to address gender diversity. And also, we're going to have other programs, because if you cannot see them, you cannot be them.
Nice. Nice. Well, thanks for all you do in driving this industry forward. And I'll see you in Barcelona. And thanks for the update, Eugenia.
Of
Great,
course.
great catching up. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Look forward to updates from Tip.